Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. We are nearing the end of the first quarter of this century. Just 75 years remain before we reach the year 2100. So, why am I raising this question? Well, it's because time is something we are all given, but not everyone gets to live it freely, not even me. And since we're here for something deeper, I want to let you know this session may go past the 15-minute mark. So if you need to pause and return later, feel free. But if you're ready to stay with me, I'll begin with this. What I've learned from my own life and from the quiet stories of others who were never allowed to speak is that being a good person, reading the room before reading books, giving without return, protecting others before protecting yourself, speaking gently so others could hear themselves, forgiving what was never acknowledged, staying quiet even when you knew more, healing in silence while others performed their pain, surviving without applause, fixing systems no one else wanted to fix, naming harm so others could be spared, and taking initiative to do what everyone else refuses to do. Well, I learned that all of that often means nothing, but it should, and maybe in the future it will. Across the world, I've seen people who are more disconnected from reality than those connected to humanity. People who would rather strip someone of opportunity than offer support in all aspects of life. People who see progress as a threat, not as a reason to grow. The saying, if it isn't broke, don't fix it, is an illusion created to maintain the very foundation of how systems are built, to maintain control. Think about it. Just in the last 100 years, using horses for transportation wasn't considered broken. It worked. But then someone imagined something different. And from that imagination came the car. Then planes. Then rockets. None of that would have emerged if we had only followed what was broken. The same is true for how we live, work, and care for one another. Just because a system functions doesn't mean it serves. For example, lighting and energy. Candles weren't broken, but we invented the light bulb. And now we harness sunlight, wind, and the movement of oceans. Innovation didn't come because systems were broken. It came because someone believed we could do better. Or another example, communication. The telegram worked, but now we FaceTime across continents. Letters took weeks. People ran on foot. You know the game Relay, right? Now a message travels in milliseconds. Systems didn't collapse, they evolved. And what about education? One-room schoolhouses worked, but access wasn't equal. So we imagined public education. And now we have open source learning, AI tutors, remote classrooms. Systems change when we dare to question. Good enough. And think about water and sanitation. People used to drink from rivers, hoping the water was safe. Some people still do that today. Now most countries filter it, monitor it, protect it, not because the river was broken, but because human life deserved better. And human rights? Well, think about it. Women weren't allowed to vote or even have a role in shaping society. Enslaved people were once considered property. The systems functioned, but they violated the truth of what it means to be human. Those systems weren't broken, they were designed that way. And that's why they had to be dismantled. And let's look at banking and currency. Gold coins worked, but now we tap a screen. Money moves in seconds. The future doesn't arrive because of past fails. The future arrives when someone dares to reimagine what's possible. Why? Because those who never had to struggle for life's basic needs are often the ones making decisions for those who are barely surviving. And one can never truly understand the other if they don't try. So the systems they built, they reward illusion. Titles, performances, noise. Not truth, not presence, not care. It took over 200 years for the world to accept tomatoes as food instead of poison. And today, entire cultures, industries, and cuisines are built around them. As for limes and lemons, another 200 years passed before they were officially used to cure scurvy, a deadly disease that wiped out millions of sailors during the Age of Sail. Italy helped the world discover tomatoes as food. China gave the world the foundation for ketchup. And the United Kingdom eventually saved its sailors with citrus, so the world could be explored. But beyond all of that, it was Earth, the intelligence of this planet, that brought all of us here. And I say this because history matters. If limes and lemons hadn't entered those ships, you wouldn't be watching this right now. Much of the modern world wouldn't exist. That's why I created my podcast series. Free, accessible, a living curriculum. If you want to know how systems think, if you want to understand why the world feels the way it does today, start there. I'll keep creating those stories if they're reaching people. But if there's no audience for truth, I won't keep speaking into the void. Because this content, it costs life force to produce. And that means I need to be selective. Think of it like supply and demand, a principle embedded into nearly every system we've created. If a restaurant offers a dish that few come to eat, the chef eventually has to pause, reassess, and adapt. Not because the food lacks value, but because the effort requires alignment. That's how systems sustain themselves. That's how creators survive. My friends love the stories, and I love my friends. But right now, the noise is overpowering. And if you can't find a job or want to be accepted, welcome to the system. It's built that way. This isn't new. I've been through it. I'm still in it. And after being told thousands of times these words, after careful consideration, you are not selected. We wish you luck in your search. Now I'm saying, after careful consideration, and seeing how all your decisions have put me on the path to homelessness and never being able to own anything, this is why I'm here teaching. Because most of what's happening, it's structural decay embedded into the foundations of everything. You were never meant to see behind the curtains. I did. And I promise you, it's not what you think. This may be my only chance to build a future for myself. So know that I've faced thousands of rejections, hundreds of thousands of no's, and I thought I was a failure too. But still, I'm here. So if you're here too, just keep going. Through the doubt, through the pain, through the tears, through the fears. It's tough. But never ever give up. Now we return to what's real, not what pretends, not what performs. We return to water because water doesn't need applause to keep flowing. Water just knows. Often, time is weighed down by systems too rigid to bend, by silence that hides behind illusions, or by stories rewritten to shift perception. And support? Support means something different when it's quiet, where it should speak, or when it's shaped more by appearances than care. If you are feeling unsupported, you are not alone. Sometimes the simplest elements, like breath and water, are the ones that remind us what's real. Today, we return to one of them, the one that has moved through every civilization, every body, every cycle of life. Water. Water doesn't argue. doesn't fight, doesn't perform, doesn't dominate. Water gives, water flows, water listens, water adapts, water remembers. Water enters and exits, or stays when welcomed, protected, and held in respect. Otherwise, it turns to vapor and disappears. But even then, no resentment, no anger. Water simply lifts into the sky, rides the wind, and finds a new home. Somewhere safe, somewhere that knows how to receive. Sometimes rain finds deserts. Sometimes water seeps into soil, catches the roots of trees, and climbs upward quietly to feed the leaves. Sometimes water lingers in clouds, waiting for the right place to fall. Water always finds a way to give without forcing. That's not weakness, that's intelligence. Now let's soften. If you've been swimming through survival, if your body feels tight, dry, or tired, this is for you. Pause this video if you need to, and bring a glass of water. Whether it's day or night, you'll understand why soon. Let's begin with presence. Take a deep breath in and hold. Counts to 4. Now exhale slowly and let yourself land. Now bring your attention to the water you've brought. Look at it. Really look. Hold the glass in your hand. Breathe gently. What do you notice? Stillness, clarity, scent, bubbles. Now look deeper. Any dust? Any dirt? Any particles? Probably not. And that's not magic. That's filtration. Through human infrastructure or natural systems like soil and stone. That's the result of Earth's intelligence and intervention, both natural and designed. Now tilt the glass. See how the water responds, hugging the inside of the glass, bending light. No 2 droplets moving the same way twice. Now raise the glass to eye level. Look at the surface, so thin yet fully intact. Even when stirred, water seeks balance, not drama, just return. Now, take a sip. Feel the temperature, the weight, the flow. Let it enter your body. Let it remind you are still here. And breathe. Because every breath reminds your system you're safe. Now that you're hydrated, breathing, aware, let's return to the truth. You are made of water. 60% of your body runs on it. Your brain needs over 70%. Your lungs, nearly 80%. Water regulates your temperature, cushions your joints, protects your spine, carries oxygen, clears waste, and supports your mood, focus, and sleep. Even a 2% drop in hydration can trigger fog, fatigue, or anxiety. Long-term dehydration, it steals your clarity, energy, and resilience. So when someone says, just drink more water, they're not offering advice. They're reminding your system how to survive. Now, zoom out. The water you drank today once passed through skies, rivers, and roots, and someday it will return. Earth is 71% water, but less than 1% of that is accessible for humans to use. That tiny percentage feeds every farm, cools every server, fills every glass, and runs every city, town, and community. Water connects your body to the planet, and the way we treat water is the way we treat life. I didn't learn this through books alone. Water has been the foundation of my health for over 20 years and the foundation of my healing for more than a decade. Drinking water with reverence, noticing my breath shift with hydration and humidity, well, it changed how I see the world. And now I share this with you, not to teach, but to remember together. Because water never forgot. And if something in you feels seen, or softened, or steadied by hearing this, then you already know. I've been told I'm operating too far in the future because I'm speaking to a world not yet in existence. To which I respond, yes, Earth's timeline is too slow for me. So if you're here now and it doesn't make sense, that's okay. The future will begin when it's ready. So let's begin again with water, the embodiment of love. Because water is what fuels me to stand here and speak with you. Something I couldn't even do just a few months ago. As we go deeper into these stories, I'll keep sharing what I've learned. And I hope it helps you see the world and yourself in a new light. Anyone can be trained to be relatable. But the earth, she doesn't need to be trained. She just is. She exists as herself, beautiful, powerful, complex, ruthless, and serene, calm, and abundant. I've never been allowed to exist or speak freely. I hope this space becomes a space I can. See you in the next one. Remember to stay hydrated and breathe deeply. You're still here. Your body will thank you, and that means something.